Hello, I'm Joshua Gust, learning for Assembly 13.
Actually, if I can have you give an intro before you answer the question, your elevator pitch.
All right, I apologize for being late. First off, we had a walk this morning, and I'm Joshua Gust, running for State Assembly. I am born and raised here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm a small business owner here, family, second generation company in wedding chapels, and then also we have a transportation company that we opened a year ago. I don't want to I know we have a big group. I saw on the schedule 20 minutes and so forth, so I'll kind of just jump into the answer the question. I read a study that for every 8 students, there's an employee in this Clark County in the school district. And yet for every 32 students, there's a teacher. So for every teacher, there's 3 employees that do something else. I've had the ability to grow. I grew up going to private school, a struggling private school now that I serve on the foundation board, and I know that if we had, for every teacher we hired, we had 3 other employees doing something, we would be out of business very, very fast. And so I think the biggest thing that we need to do is not throw more money at it. We all agree, every single person that said something on this table just now, I think we all agree on those issues. However, it's about breaking up the school district. It's about Clark County School District is way too big. It's about making sure the money is going into the classroom and not to positions. It's about looking at tenure and making sure teachers are not just at the end of 5 years they can stay forever no matter how well they're doing. That's looked at teacher performance. That we look at the classroom scores and so forth. The way the school district is set up right now with tenure and having these teachers that have to be pulled out of the classroom and then put in some other position is how we get that 1-to-3, 1-to-4 ratio. And until we start looking at that and start looking for where the money's going, we're going to have more and more and more problems. Throwing more money at it is the worst thing that we could do.
Kenneth Wagner, U.S. Army retired. 30 seconds each, please, gentlemen. We have the largest number of homeless veterans in the nation now. How do you plan on helping them without raising everyone's taxes? And do you even have a plan? And we'll just start since you have a mic. Again, my name is Kenneth Wagner. Please state your name.
Joshua Gust. That's unfortunate, and I mean we have a huge homeless problem in Nevada altogether, and I think it's a lot of people say it's because of the weather and the 24-hour access, and that people come here because if they're going to be homeless, it's better than being in some of the 20 below areas and so forth. I think that we need to really encourage the private sector to put programs together, because I think that when tax breaks or monies, grants are given or anything like that to the private sector, I think the money's spent more wisely than when we have government agencies trying to hire all these people, all the red tape that happens. So I think that, in short, in 30 seconds, I think we need to find ways to fund the private sectors that are already out there helping the homeless to give them more tools that they need to do to help these people.
Nathan Taylor, veterans are probably, they're in the line. We need to respect our veterans, period. And our seniors and the homeless issue is a really big issue here in this town. We need to get under control. To answer your question directly, a couple things. First, we need to get a hold of the state budget, number one, and see if we can get control of that first before we can find out if we can get any monies over to veterans to help them out. The SAGE Commission came out with some great ideas for cuts. I liked a lot of those ideas. We can save millions upon millions of dollars if the next legislature institutes a lot of those cuts in the SAGE Commission report. But as far as veterans go, I have a lot of friends, including a brother-in-law who's now a Metro police officer who did 2 tours in Iraq. So this means a lot to me. And when he came back, he didn't have a job. And I think as state lawmakers, as legislators, we need to find ways, we need to be leaders and find ways to put veterans back to work when they come back from war. We've got to put them to work. We can't just have them be homeless people anymore. We've got to step up to the plate. And in order to do that, we've got to get control of our state budget. We need to be leaders to figuring out how we can put people back to work. And we need to make sure that top of the list is our veterans have jobs when they come back from the war. We deserve to give them that much.
Ludus Albio, Assembly 13. To answer that question, I think somebody does need to do something privatized and get a nonprofit organization started, and then that way they can apply for grant monies to help those men and women out. But currently we do have a program in town that helps the veterans. It's called Helmets to Hard Hats. It's a very successful program. I work closely with Dan on that. I can't tell you how many people we've put to work in the labor's union through Helmets to Hard Hats. On top of that, here's the problem I have. Right now there's 4 veterans clinics being built in Las Vegas. And at this point in time, I don't know of any Helmets to Hard Hat people that are on that job. there should have been a federal guideline put in place to where these men and women have the first opportunity to work that job. Second thing is, we have another problem, is most of the people on that job site, I was just on it the other day, out of 55 vehicles in the parking lot, 32 of them were out-of-state plates. Where's the money going? Out of this state. Is it really helping the state? No, it's not. The federal government, again, needs to put a guideline in place, which I'm trying to do on a local level for just the local prevailing wage jobs, where you should be from this state if you're going to build in this state. Keep the money here in this state. We need that revenue. All that revenue is going out of town right now, and I can't tell you probably how many millions are done in misclassified workers that are going out of town right now, being paid at one scale and performing that job of another. The vets should have had, the homeless, the hard hat people should have had the first opportunity on that job to be employed. Thank you.
Well, if I may, we are a little bit over time, but we did get approval from the candidate from the next seat, so we did get time from them. So, but just informational, just want to let you know, there's not a lot of people that do know this, that you can get up to, business owners can get up to 11 grand at the end of the year per vet hired from the VA. So with that being said, just so you know, there are definitely incentives involved. Leonard,
Leonard Foster. Yeah, no, I agree. There are incentives already there in place, and what we need to do is work with the businesses, because a lot of them, I'm a business owner, I'm not aware, and so the knowledge needs to get out there to business owners that there are programs and incentives out there, and if you have businesses that then support the current nonprofits, because vets are homeless because they don't have a job. And so you work with the nonprofits to give them a place to live. The businesses have the incentives to train them, to hire them, and over time you solve the problem. It's done at the business level with the incentives, and also at the local level with the current nonprofits.
Scott Hammond. My father's a vet. He's a Vietnam vet, and when I was a kid, we talked often about the war and how it changed him. I'm gonna say this: sometimes veterans are homeless not because they don't have a job; it's because they have a hard time holding the job. They need help. I believe that we can do a lot of private work with them, but to be honest with you, the most important job that the government has is to make sure they take care of their veterans. It's a government job. The first day of school, when I teach my students about government, why we have it, the first conversation that comes up is why we need government. And the very first thing that I talk to them about is government, we have it because it protects you from me from you, and the Hobbesian sort of viewpoint. But in order to maintain our government, we need our military, we need our police. These are the people that we need to make sure we take care of as a government. We need to go in, and I definitely agree with some of the things that were said. We need to make sure we don't spend too much in other areas. We find out what's essential in our budget. We need to cut back where we can, and we need to make sure that we take care of those people who have taken care of us. I think my father would definitely agree that there are some people that just need help to make sure that they can hold that job. And being in war, being in those kinds of circumstances, it affects you. It affects you mentally. I can't go into detail, but I understand these things because I've been told directly from the source. You know, he's explained to me over and over again. There are times when I can't even get my father to talk about what happened in Vietnam, which I completely understand. But again, my name's Scott Hammond.
and thank you, District 13. That is all the time that we have. We are actually 10 minutes over.